Na české dálnici se v běžném provozu objevila závodní formule.
A týká se průjezdu vozidel formule.
V pražském okruhu, po kterém se v sobotu v noci proháněla formule.
Policie stále hledá řidiče, který přesně před týdnem projel ve formuli dálnici D4.
Našeho podezřelého v prvního případu nikdo nekontaktoval ty věci znova.
V jiném místě se zřejmě totožné vozidlo prohánělo už před 3 lety.
Stát tak má v podstatě 3 možnosti. Úpravu zákona, rychlejší reakci policie nebo se s podobnými kousky smířit.
So this is what you all have been waiting for since the start of this channel, right?
This is the real Formula 1 car from 2006, tested by Kimi Räikkönen.
And yeah, this is a real F1 car, not a GP2 or something like that, but F1, or to be exact, an F1 prototype car made from Dallara for Ferrari. Dallara and F1? That doesn't make any sense. Well, they already did that even before this one that we now own. Our story starts with Beppe Lucchini, an Italian industrialist with a bank account bigger than a Formula 1 engine and a heart that raced at 200 miles per hour. Lucchini wasn't just content running his family's steel empire. This guy wanted to build something epic, something fast. So in 1983 he founded BMS Scuderia Italia with one goal: to go wheel to wheel with the big dogs in Formula 1. Now Beppe knew that if you wanna go fast, you gotta team up with the best. Enter Gianpaolo Dallara, a man who could probably build a race car blindfolded with one hand tied behind his back. Dallara was already thriving in lower Formula levels and Lucchini saw a perfect opportunity. In 1988 they teamed up to create something that could shake up with F1 grid, the Dallara F188. The Dallara F188, a sleek, low-slug missile of Italian engineering. Under the hood, V8 Cosworth
with a 3.5-litre Ford DFZ engine.
It pumped out around 600 horsepower, enough to turn heads and burn rubber on the track. So what happened when this Italian stallion hit the track? Well, they didn't exactly start blowing doors off a Ferrari and McLaren, but they weren't the backmarkers either. In a great pact with the big budget teams, BMS Scuderia Italia managed to score some points and even surprise everyone with a podium in 1989. After BMS, they made some projects with Honda in F1, Midland Spiker and some more that came out after this one we have. And now we're gonna show you all things we need to service this Formula 1 car. To lift this car successfully for pit stop as an example, we get its rear lift.
And this front carbon lift. This is the starter that starts a Formula 1 car.
And the battery that helps the starter to start a Formula 1 car. This is the main battery that powers all the systems to this Formula 1 car.
And this is a special Formula 1 helmet from Czech driver John Harrows with our special driver. This is the most important thing to start this Formula 1 car.
It heats up all the liquids to 65 degrees Celsius for the engine to be able to start up. Last but not least, we get another important tool. It does the starter itself.
And custom-made bucket seats for every single driver. To check the temperature, we need to press this button, which will show us everything on this display.
Formula 1 also has a manual clutch for the first gear, but other gears have to be switched without using it while driving.
If you need to take down this nose, everything you need is this motherfucker. And voila! And now we're gonna show you how to start the Formula 1.
After the Honda and Spiker collaborations, Dallara wanted to get all the way to the top, and that meant teaming up with a Ferrari. Yes, you heard that right. Ferrari, the name that makes every gearhead's heart race and their bank accounts tremble. In 2006, Dallara, the company known for crafting some of the most precise and high-performing race car chassis, decided to step up their game. They partnered with Ferrari to create groundbreaking project, the Dallara GP F1 prototype. Only 2 of these extraordinary machines were built, labeled 014 and 015. These weren't just test cars, they were the pinnacle of engineering and collaboration. Ferrari provided their 2.4-liter V8 engine, a powerhouse producing 796 horsepower and capable of revving up astounding 18,500 RPM. This was kind of a raw, unfiltered performance that made Formula 1 a spectacle. The GP F1 prototype 015 was specifically designed for Ferrari star drivers Kimi Räikkönen and Felipe Massa. However, the project quickly became a financial strain for Dallara. The costs of development, spare parts and extensive testing were astronomical. But that wasn't the only reason. Ferrari management and Dallara also had other disagreements, more likely strategical, but that's something we don't know for sure. Kimi Räikkönen put the 015 through its paces during secretive tests at Ferrari's Monza circuit. The feedback from Räikkönen was crucial, pushing the limits of what Dallara and Ferrari could achieve. The sheer costs and financial risks, as well as the disagreements between Dallara and Ferrari, meant that these cars remained out of the limelight. But the story didn't end here. Dallara GP F1 number 015 eventually found its way to British racer David Hauser. He took this extraordinary machine to the world of hill climbs, where it quickly became a dominant force. With a unique F1 engine and parts that weren't exactly easy to come by, Hauser faced challenges. The engine has specific mileage limit and maintaining it was costly. As a result, he made some practical modifications, like fitting GP2 front spoiler for better ground clearance and using less expensive parts where possible, as example for the cooling and other stuff. So the Dallara GP F1 prototype 015 didn't quite make it to the Grand Prix grid, but it embarked an extraordinary journey, from high-speed testing at Monza to hill climb heroics. Its story is a remarkable blend of high ambition, engineering marvel and real-world challenges. Dallara's story is a reminder that sometimes the little guys can really shake things up. And how did we actually came up to having a Formula 1 in our living room? Well, in 2019 we already had a Murcielago for some time and recently bought a KTM X-Bow R, but we wanted something more interesting. That's when we came across a British racer, or rather his team, selling a Formula 1 car with a worn-out Ferrari F1 2.4-liter V8 engine, which he used for hill climbs. However, it cost a fortune to keep up running, so when the engine ran out of hours, meaning the engine reached a certain number of hours and could no longer be driven at such high RPMs, making it unreliable, he put the Formula 1 car up for sale. We noticed it, and within a few days we flew over there to check it out, and everything for us was just amazing. So we returned, gathered $450,000 and headed to England with a trailer to pick up the Formula 1 car. When we arrived to England, everyone was staring at us because normally big companies show up with the decorated trucks for such purchases. But we showed up with a van and a trailer. We loaded up a Formula 1 car, all the equipment and headed back to Czech Republic. 2 days later we were home and unloaded it from a trailer, marveled at it, and within a few weeks it was all decked out. We had spare tires and we were ready to go. And now, how about a little race?
with that. So now this is a wrap for today. Alright. Lucas is fully concentrated. Alright. He is. And that's all for today about the most extreme car you're gonna see on all of YouTube.
Thanks for watching and we'll see you next time.